bit of a whirlwind lately, just kind of the new job and all the new people? Tell us just about getting acclimated.
Yeah, anytime you take over a program, your first few months are very fast-paced, very busy, but I tell you what, we got a great staff right off the bat, and they've been killing it. They've been doing a great job in the office with our current players on the court, obviously recruiting, so I think we're in a really good position considering we just got here.
How about the camaraderie, too, from Coach Gates and even Drink? It seems like right now, more than ever, Laird's kind of encouraged that. Tell me how much coaching camaraderie there is, regardless of the sport.
I love it. For me, I know getting to talk to other, in particular head coaches, about their experiences, their stories, and honestly, sometimes doing these caravans, doing these trips together, you get to sit on a plane and find out what you have in common, find out who you know. There's a lot of camaraderie built when we're traveling together, but I think also you just have the unity. At Mizzou, you have a common vision, common goal, something you're pulling in the same direction for, and it's just a great vibe. It's a really good feel.
I was going to say, one in particular about Mizzou was attractive when you were coming to this program and you were starting. I know it's only been a month now, but when you were looking at what this program has to offer.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the people. The people make the place, for sure. And, I think we're strategically placed right now with a lot of support from our administration, and they're just good people. You want to be around good people. I think if you start that way, start with good people, you work hard, good things are going to happen.
What did have some influence you as a coach? I mean, as a player, you obviously get that info, but then later on, you feel her presence a little bit.
Yeah, I think especially early on in my career, that was my model. Having Pat Summitt as my head coach is something that you would draw back to. Now, look, I was never trying to be her. I knew I'd probably fall quite a bit short if I was trying to be somebody else, but I definitely did learn a lot of things, could take some things from my time at Tennessee, really just observing her, how she interacted with her assistants, how she interacted with the players. Tried to take some of the X's and O's and found out real quickly when I was the first-time head coach that they work a whole lot better with All-Americans out there. So you learn what works for you, and you see other people model it at the highest level, and what a great mentor.
Kelly, from your time at
when you aren't a blue blood, is the recruiting approach, does it almost have to be different? You can walk into kind of your door, right, with Tennessee, but how different is it? How do you approach it?
Yeah, I think the recruiting is different, but I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing. I think for me, just finding the right type of player that would be really good for me, that's the type of player that's going to want to come to Missouri. And I think the fit is there. Obviously, we feel like we can succeed recruiting those players here. And it's really exciting. We've had a lot of interest.
On that note, just how do you feel your program has, what roots does it have in St. Louis, and what connections you have dating back to your time at Mo State?
Yeah, I think we were heavily regional recruiting when we were at Missouri State. I think that gave us a leg up now. We have a lot of connections. My staff has a lot of connections in this area, and broader than just the state, regional, but we've recruited quite a bit in St. Louis. I think we need to. I think that needs to be a Mizzou heavy area for our program.
Coach, I'm curious what the latest guidance you're getting is on roster building in terms of roster limits with the way that the courts and the house settlement's trending right now. What does that look like for your program specifically right now?
Yeah, so the roster limits probably not going to affect women's basketball as much as some of the other sports that we're dealing with equivalencies.
Sure.
And so I think for us, we're trying to build a roster. We're trying to get the number where we want it to, be able to compete and practice consistently, and have, make sure that we're moving forward the right way. So right now, the limits haven't affected us as much as just building a roster.
Coach, now that you're getting more of a sense of what your roster may look like heading into next year, do you feel like you kind of got a sense of what the team identity may be?
We're working on this roster and we're putting it together. I really don't think you can truly know your identity till you get everybody there on the court together, talking about your vision. And I think once we do that, so I feel like this summer, it'll take us some time this summer, but I think this summer we're going to be able to see where we can go, and really the things that will give us an identity. Those things will start to emerge this summer.
What was your, because for years football here, men's basketball was perceived as a sleeping giant. What is the perception of the women's program from the outside?
I think obviously you have the initial connection with the SEC, and you know that this is the best league in the country. I think that is a real positive. I think there is a perception that things were done the right way at Missouri. I don't want to box us in. I don't want people to look at us and think one little thing. I want them to look at us and say, hey, this is a group of tough players that love being a Tiger, that are passionate about it, that will fight you tooth and nail. I'd like to also think we're very polished and highly skilled and have great size and athleticism. So I don't want to box us in. I want to make sure that when people look at us, they see a competitive team.
What is kind of the schedule for your summer workouts like, and what are the focuses there?
Yeah, so right now we're finishing up this week with our spring workouts with the players that we have on campus. We'll have some time off in May from our team. They'll get some time off from campus, and then in June we'll get everybody on campus. I'm super excited about that. We'll have our entire staff there, we'll have our entire team, and then we'll start working towards building our program and putting in our offensive package, defensive packages. So this summer we'll have 8 weeks that we're allowed to work with them. We will utilize that time to do team workouts, bringing everybody together. We'll also do a lot of individual work, so that's where the individual development piece will come in. We'll also spend some time off the court to try to build some chemistry and camaraderie as well. All right.